Hello, my name is the Doctor, and today I'm going to be showing a little showcase of a library I'm developing called Lazy Modder. Basically, it's going to make adding mods or making mods for Minecraft a lot easier, and hopefully be able to making them update a lot easier as well. Let's see right here, so let's go get in it. The things I'm going to be showcasing are easy item creation, easy block creation, easy recipe creation, and if there's time, tile entities as well. So let's go ahead and get started. So this is my mod main class. This is getting to my client proxy, my common proxy, server proxy, all that. In my common proxy, I have the example with the pre-initialization, and in my Z example classes, we're going to actually create the items. So first, we'll start with an item. So we're going to go ahead and name this public static item test 1. Okay, let's go ahead and import the item. Alright, test 1 is going to equal new easy item. That's what it's called. Now there's a few things we can have. We can have easy item, which is name, which is only has one sub item, or you can have multiple sub items from one item. By entering it there, I'm just going to go ahead and make this as easy as possible. Test item 1. Alright. Now for the second example, we're going to go ahead and public static block. Go ahead and import that. Add a second, test 2. I'll try importing now. There we go. Alright, now it's pretty much exactly the same format. Test 2 equals new easy block. Same kind of thing with materials. Let's see, by default it goes to rock if you don't decide what material it should be. We're just going to go ahead and go with the defaults, and we're going to go ahead and name this test block 1. Bam. Now just there, I already created two things, an item and a block, and those will be, the library will handle registering those items along with registering their renders as well, and we can create the JSON files for them. Alright, let me see here. So let's go ahead and just run a Minecraft real quick in debug mode. I'll wait for that to go done as well. So yeah, this is going to make it a lot easier because you can essentially add 10 items in seconds. Let me see, all you got to do is make them have sure they have a different name. It handles the registry names. Same thing with blocks. The blocks also create an item block for as well, so you don't need to make that. It handles everything, and we'll kind of go over about what it does in the background later if you guys want me to explain that. Alright, so that is loading. We're flat. Alright, and I believe by default the blocks go into the decoration blocks. Right there. Yes, there is a tile test block 1, and I believe items by default go to miscellaneous test item 1. There we go. Now the block, we can go ahead and place it in the world. Very easy. The item doesn't really do anything because it's just an item. But there you go. So that's basically it. That's as easy as it gets. Now recipes are pretty easy as well. I created a different class for them, so let's go ahead and do this. I believe it is create an element class. And a great thing about these classes as well is that you can extend them and mix a lot more customs. You can customize them a lot easier. Let's see. So we're going to test recipe 1. All right. Recipes I created another class that would maybe make making recipes a bit easier. You can use JSON files, but if you like to code them like I do, then you can go do it. I believe it's new recipe builder. There we go. Now the item stack is where we define what item we want to get. So item stack. We're gonna go ahead and give myself. You know what? Let's give myself test 2. Actually, we're gonna give myself a block. And we'll create one for each of them after in a second. Test 1, test 2, we'll do that in a second. Alright, now this is where it kind of gets cool. So, we're going to go ahead and map the recipe. Alright, and it handles this itself. So we're going to say that you're going to need diamonds on all 3 rows. Now, you don't need to specify because it will automatically figure out what the length and width of the recipe is. So potentially you could use this for other recipes that need a bigger length. Let me see here. So DDD. So that basically starting from the top left corner to the top right and going from left to right down. That's basically how this is going to be mapped out. Let me see here. Now we have this. We're going to go ahead and define what D is. So we're going to say where D equals. Now we can either put an item or an item stack. I'm just going to go ahead and do items diamond. Bam. There we go. That's it. Now we can decide whether or not we want to build a shapeless or build a shaped recipe, and we can decide what group it is. By default it goes to none, and let's say if we do want to do a group, you can just go to recipe builder groups, put them all there for you, have them all there. But I'm just gonna go ahead and take it to the default one. Bam. Now I'm just gonna go ahead and copy this as well. Let's see what's the error here. Yes, because it does throw an exception to mapping. If just in case you give all 3 strings are not the same size, it will throw a error. So you have to put a space if you want it to be nothing, or put something there at the very least. Just remember too that the way that I originally planned it to be implemented is that when you create a class, you implement this interface I have recipe, and it adds this function add recipe to list, and this is where you create the recipes, because if you do it where I did it beforehand, the items haven't been initialized yet, so basically you're trying to make a recipe from nothing, and that's just not going to work. Another thing I did notice too as well is I want to put everything as diamond. That does make a diamond block, so I just went ahead and replaced it with an A and just find it as an apple. Then you add these recipes to the list, so that way you can add a bunch of recipes at one time to this list, and it will go ahead and register it for you. Each item will have to handle its own recipes, but you know, that's pretty good trade-off as well. So just kind of gonna show this. Here you go. There you go. There's my test recipe for this block I created, and let's go grab an apple. There's 4 of them, and oops, there we go. And there we go, we go ahead and created another one as well. So yeah, that's basically it right there. That's how you create items, and that's how you create blocks using this method of this library. I mean, a lazy modder. As I hope you can see, that definitely makes it a lot easier to create items. Let me see here. I went ahead and just created some classes that I needed. So basically the class you're going to want to extend this time to create tile entities is easy tile entity block. This will register the tile entity along with the block item for you in the background, and you just need to one of the parameters is just a class like test tile entity I use in this case that extends tile entity, and that's all you have to do. One thing to do, notice that there is another class called easy tester block, which is it's the same thing as the tile entity block, except these ones automatically add support for tile entity special render, and these ones are not. The parameters are basically the same, except there's one more parameter that has to be extend another class that extends tile entity special render, and that handles that in the background. Okay, and the very last thing that I want to showcase in this mod is the support that it adds for easy living registration, or easy living entities that either be mobs or animals right here. So for this, you're going to actually want to create a new instance of easy living entity. You're going to want to register the entity class, living entity class right here, entity mob, the render class right here that handles the textures and its rendering, and right here, name it, and also potentially, if you'd like, optionally, to define what color its egg will be. And right here, these are kind of some of the results. Right here, oops, there we go, Shy Guy, whatever his name is, Larry, and the sculpture. Now, I didn't implement any AIs, but they do render, and that's something I did want to show as well. Yeah, that right here. There we go. So there's my test recipe blocks I made. Test block 1, test tile entity, and bam, that acts. Now there's another block right here that acts exactly like a tile entity and has its block everything in there. You just define what you want your tile entity to act like. It's very easy. Let me see right here. Yes. So these items. This is the mod I've been working on called SCP for this other guy, and this is one of the things that helped me kind of figure out what I need to make. So this is one of the tile entity or tester blocks that I made as well, and as you can see there, go bam, it creates a tile entity that has a special render. Another thing is that this thing I really like right here, I'm gonna grab one of these real quick, is this door. That's another class of tile entities, tile entity door special, something like that. Let's see right here. It's easy tile, easy item door tile entity, or no, yeah, it's easy door tile entity block, and with render, that's the one I've used as well. Whoops, let's go and save that. Alright, basically this one's a bit more advanced, has custom collisions as well, and I use keycards to open it as well. But yeah, the only hard part about having to create this was getting the render file and setting up the collisions, but registering it is definitely not an issue as well. But so I hope you enjoyed this little showcasing of what it can, what this library is. I do want to point out that this right here is one block, but I'm working on making it a bit easier to make multi-block structures at the moment, and I'll try to keep you guys posted as well. If you have any suggestions, let me know. This library is a bit of a work in progress. It is open source as well, but nothing is really officially released yet. But that's about it. Until next time.